Hi, this is Tyrone and welcome to another edition of The Agent. This week's episode is titled Promises, 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 a Bold Move. Dionne Warwick sang this wonderful song, Promises, 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 which I love so much because it reminds me of an earlier time in my career when I was given the task to rebuild and restore the image and fortunes at one of the agencies I just started working at. Working day and night, literally, I brought new models into the agency while restoring the careers of those of the older models that many thought their careers were over. And within 1 year, we started having great success. Vogue was calling, Gucci, Versace, Calvin, Donna, and Ralph. We were signing deals that were unprecedented in the industry. And of course, the agency was making money. So my boss made a promise to me that one day I too would be an owner and partner in the agency. I took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Even though I wasn't being paid much, I believed my boss. At that time, I was barely making more than about $40,000 a year in comparison to what other agents were making at other agencies in the industry. Promises, promises, promises. So as the success of the agency grew, many of the top agencies started calling with proposals for me to switch to their agencies, with some offering upwards of 6 figures to do so. You see, others were taking note of the work I was doing and wanted me to be a part of their team and were willing to pay, but not my boss. But I believed in the promise that was made, so I kept turning down the offers. Promises are comfort to a fool. So one day, after about 4.5 years and the promise never came, I did the unthinkable. I decided I would rather go and work at another agency for free than stay at the same agency making them money, but not being paid for what I was worth. So, on a lovely Friday evening, I picked up my knapsack, put it over my shoulders, and walked straight over to a nearby agency. Didn't even think about which one, shocking everyone at the booking table when I walked in and announced that I would start working with them come Monday morning for free. A bold move, but one I was willing to take. I figured if I could prove to them my worth by simply showing up, putting in the hard work, and fighting to show that I was worth every penny, sooner or later they would pay me my worth. So the following Monday morning, I did just that. And by the end of the week, I was offered a salary of $80,000, from $40,000 to $80,000 within 1 week, double for my trouble. The Lord's promise was, I would give you double for all your troubles. Well, He did for me. I knew I was taking a risk in walking away without any guarantee, but it was one I was willing to take. I would gamble on my faith and the one that was the greatest agent ever lived, Christ Almighty. I also knew the promises that the Lord had shared with Moses for Joshua before Joshua, would enter the promised land in the book of Deuteronomy. He said, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes before you. He will never leave you, nor will he ever forsake you. Do not be discouraged. The lesson in all this? In life, you have to be bold and take chances. You don't know how far God will take you if you're not willing to believe and trust him when you step out in faith. You see, at my former agency, they were all promises, promises, promises. Empty promises which yielded not much fruit. But God's promises are always yea and amen. So within 1 year at the new agency, my salary ran over to the 6-figure mark. I proved to everyone there I was bankable. Not because of who I am, but because of whose I am. I knew Christ Almighty, was coming with me, so I wasn't afraid. He had sat with me at the other agency and made them successful, and I knew he would do the same wherever I go. I always have the greatest agent ever lived, Christ Almighty, sitting front and center at every booking table I would sit at, guiding my every step, all the models and bookings along the way. I knew he would never leave me, nor would he ever forsake me, for no good agent ever forsakes the model they love. Until next time, let the promises of Christ guide your every step and not the promises of man. Shabbat Shalom. God bless you. Have a great, great, great weekend. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.